Hey, folks, it's your girl, Lady Red, checking in on this good Saturday evening. Hope all is doing well and is enjoying their weekend in spite of everything that's going on, this pandemic, the senseless violence that's going on in the streets. I pray that everyone is doing well. So, I'm going to do some poetry for you today. Yay! But before I get into the poetry, as I always state, if you would like the video, feel free to like the video. If you want to share the video, feel free to share the video. If you have any positive feedback, suggestions you want to share, feel free to do that. Also, I was stating before with my YouTube channel, I did a live video a couple weeks ago, and Facebook muted a lot of the videos, so I wound up deleting it. But what I was saying before about my YouTube channel, Call Her Red is my YouTube channel, is that I have a lot of videos on there. Some videos of my poetry that I've done that I've never shared with either platform, either Instagram or Facebook. I have some audio videos of my poetry to music that I've never shared with either platform. So feel free to check that out. With that as well, I like music. I love music. Y'all know that. So my little inner DJ, I have some playlists on there. Some club music, some love music, some get your groove on music. I got a little bit of everything going on there. So for those of you that love music as well, feel free to check out those playlists. I'm sure it's something there that you'll be able to enjoy. Now, on to before I get into the poetry, there was a thought that came to mind that I wanted to share today and just touch on that briefly, and then we'll get into the poetry. Um, and the thought that came to mind is when you have to question yourself why on some of your actions, there's a problem. So when you reflect back on your life and things that you're doing and actions that, things you may be engaging into, no judgment here. I'm not no one's judge. God is the only judge. So there will never ever be any judgment here. But you are questioning any of your actions, things that you may be doing, things that you think no one knows about. What goes on in the dark will come to the light eventually. So before someone put your business out there and things that you think you sneaking, quote unquote, and getting away with, I would suggest that you seek help. You know, um, a lot of men in general, sometimes women, but a lot of men have a lot of pride and feel like I don't need no therapy. I don't need nobody telling me nothing. First of all of our help comes from the Lord, number one. But He sends people that He puts people in our path that will help us along the way. And with therapy, you can speak with someone that won't be judgmental, will not tell your business to anyone legally. They can't because they'll be sued and they'll lose their business. So they will not share your business with anyone, and you can openly express all of the hurt, all of the pain. Like I stated before, a lot of things and a lot of behaviors that we have a lot to do with the way that we were raised. Point blank and simple. And as the saying goes, the sins of the father, it's not just the father, could be the mother, could be the grandfather, could be the grandmother. A lot of sins from our ancestors are passed down onto us. So ways and things that we do that we don't even realize. And, things from our, like I said, a lot of our ways have to do with our childhood. Me personally, I had a moment where I had to reflect back to my childhood. And there were some things that I was doing, and I had to question myself as to why. Even when I was doing it, I always felt like this ain't something you should be doing. But I had to reflect. There was a time where I had to reflect back onto that in my recent life and think to myself, okay, things that I had repressed and I didn't choose to deal with, okay, now I know where this behavior comes from. And I prayed to God and I asked Him to help me. And I vowed to myself, never to do those things again. So if there are things in your life that you're struggling with and you don't understand why you're doing these things, and you think you sneaking and getting over with and you're denying it to other people, you can't run from yourself. You can lie to the world, but you can't run from two people, God, and you can't run from yourself. So I would suggest to you to get help. But I have a cousin, number one. Her name is Akiva Harris, and she is a therapist. So for those of you that may need therapy, a lot of people may be saying, oh, whoa, how am I supposed to afford therapy? Obamacare? All of us have insurance nowadays, so you can get therapy through your insurance. So I would say to interview a couple therapists, because you may go to one and they may not just, y'all may not just vibe, and they may not be able to get in there and really get to the root of what your issues are and help you. And also, you have to be a willing participant. You have to, within yourself, feel like I have a problem and I need help. I'm questioning myself as to why I'm doing certain things, and this is why I'm reaching out for help, and to help yourself so that you will never resort to those actions again. So just wanted to share that with you because it ties into the poem that I'm about to share, Unjustifiable. Some things that we try to justify, some actions that we try to justify in our lives are just unjustifiable. You can't justify it no matter what you try to do. So title of the poem is called Unjustifiable. Needs no introduction. Excuse me, I'm getting a little tongue-tied. The poem is going to speak for itself. No more murders, please. Tired of hearing these triggers squeeze for no reason. Black on black crime. Police hate that I'm colored. They shooting us down because they got a badge and a gun, daring us to resist or run so that their case is justified. Justified homicide. Justified homicide. What gives them that right? How can innocent children sleep at night after they have been violated, molested and raped by predators who too have been preyed on in their youth? No excuse for the abuse. No excuse for the abuse. Why is it that women and men take advantage of the one that loves them the most, go behind our backs and fuck any and everything? Sometimes those that we consider close or maybe even relatives. How can you live when the one that loves you? How can you live and look yourself in the mirror when the one that loves you cries themselves to sleep at night because of your infidelities? Justifying your sins with, I love you, I just fucked them. Justifying your sins with, I love you, I just fucked them. Really? Community properties to stay in the streets. Stop justifying your infidelities and change those lustful ways. I pray for a day where the color of our skin doesn't matter anymore. The cause that Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and other civil rights leaders fought for isn't in vain. Let freedom ring. Let freedom ring from the mountaintop into every valley. Rally together as a people, no matter what our differences are. We all are human beings that make mistakes. Justification of wrongdoings only leads to further division and mental anguish towards others. We'll all have to stand before God, and the truth cannot be denied. Let's stop making excuses for our bad behavior, because none of these things can be justified. Let's stop making excuses for our bad behavior, because none of these things can be justified.